Are you naturally introverted? Do you often feel like you don't belong in your workplace? Do you feel lucky to be where you are now? In this quick set, we're gonna scratch the surface on how you can find your unique voice in the workplace. If you're naturally introverted, or maybe you have imposter syndrome. I'm your host, Bud. Let's get into it. Introversion and imposter syndrome were once mostly misunderstood personality traits. However, now they're the subject of countless books, articles, and a quick set. While they're two distinctly separate things, studies have shown that you're more likely to feel the effects of imposter syndrome if you're an introvert. On average, 32% of people in the UK are introverts. Now, there are 4 shades of introversion. You've got social, thinking, anxious, and restrained. And many are a mix of all 4. But the uniting principle is a tendency to turn inwards rather than outwards. Who out of these celebrities do you think are introverts or extroverts? Barack Obama, Emma Watson, Rosa Parks, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk. Trick question, they're all introverts. On the other hand, imposter syndrome is when you may have one or more of these feelings regularly. You think your colleagues and your supervisors overestimate your abilities. You self-sabotage due to your fear of failure. You might not ask for more money because you don't think you're worth it. And no matter how hard you work or how many achievements you get, you still feel incompetent. Imposter syndrome is more than self-doubt. It's self-deprecation. It's feeling like a fraud and thinking everyone's gonna find out, or that you simply don't deserve your accomplishments, and one day they'll be taken back because they were a mistake in the first place. The big thing to remember here is that you're not alone, and you're not the only one who feels like this. There are loads of tips and tricks out there to help you find your voice. Speaking of which, here's Richard Etienne, Internal Communications Director at Elsevier, a pharmaceutical business. He shares his experience with introversion in the workplace and how he got Theresa May, former Prime Minister, to step out of her comfort zone.
Thanks, Bud. Hi, I'm Richard, currently Director of Internal Communications at Elsevier, that's a medical research company. And for 15 years, I've been helping and strengthening the impact of global brands, influencers, and celebrities, varying from the UK royal household to retired sports stars, winning many awards along the way. But I wasn't always this way. I struggled to speak up in school and then in the workplace because, let's face it, the world only praises those who make the loudest noise. And then I discovered introversion and how the brain chemistry of introverts and extroverts differ, and how society misunderstands and undervalues introverts. And it was from then I was able to better understand myself and begin to take advantages of my strengths. And I want to share 3 top tips with you on how I got there. First of all, practice, practice, practice. Us introverts are deep thinkers. However, it's what we say that matters. So always be ready to vocally share your thoughts. Number 2, get a mentor, because they will open doors for you and help you to strengthen your personal brand. And 3, your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So always ask for feedback on your work so you can continuously improve. And it's that last tip on personal branding that really enabled me to help Theresa May as her official videographer to go from the stiff, unknown persona to become more comfortable and confident in front of the camera. And I did this by using social media to give everyone access to the important behind the scenes work she did for UK communities on a daily basis. Over to you, bro.
Thanks, Richard. I love the tip about personal branding. And funny enough, we also have a set on personal branding from none other than me. To watch it, head to the Skills Hub on the Apprentice Nation website. I also spoke to Mae Muller about her personal journey to confidence, press tours, going on stage, doing photo shoots, and how she manages it all while still staying true to herself. Thanks for joining me, Mae.
Thanks for having me.
We're talking about imposter syndrome and introversion, and it'd be great to get your opinions. Are there ever times where you feel like the spotlight is just gonna disappear because you're not worthy?
Funny that you asked this question because I've been really feeling that pressure a lot recently, and I feel like I've noticed it's very easy to put all of your self-worth on like how well you're doing, how successful you are, like, you know, with your work. And I've been struggling with that, and it's so up and down. One day it's like the best day ever, and like you've just got some great news, and the next day you're like, what am I doing with my life? Nothing's going right. But I think it's just like, before I started this journey, when I wasn't doing music, I was just as worthy than I am now, and I feel like just trying to find happiness and balance like outside of it. So it's not so, I'm not so dependent on, how well it's going but it's difficult when it's so intertwined in your own life. It's very hard to differentiate sometimes. But I think, just remembering that you can take a step back sometimes, and it's not the end of the world, and we're all doing really well. Yeah. We're all trying our best.
Literally, love it. And you spoke about pressure. How do you deal with you're going on interviews, press tours, you're traveling the country. How do you deal with that pressure?
I mean, I'm quite lucky because I love to chat. Like, I'm loving this right now. This is great. I could talk for hours. Sometimes, like when I'm having an interview and they're just like, all right, can you shut now? So I've never, that kind of pressure, I'm just quite lucky that I actually really, really enjoy it. And I love to like meet people and talk to people. So that's great. Obviously, sometimes it gets a little tiring, but then the second I feel like that, I'm like, be quiet. Like, you're meeting cool people and having a chat. Like, it's not bad. So I quite enjoy it.
I love it. And last question, do you ever feel like an imposter, like you're living someone else's life?
Yeah, sometimes it is difficult to, gain perspective, and it is a bit like, what is happening right now? But I think once you it's easy to feel like that, but then we never really congratulate ourselves enough, I don't think. And once you level, what's happening with how much hard work you've put in, then you can be like, do you know what? Actually, I deserve this, and I deserve all the good things that are happening. And so the second I hear that little voice, I'm like,
nice.
Get away. I'm like, we deserve this. We worked hard.
You don't belong here.
You don't belong here. Get out.
I love it. Thanks for talking to me.
Oh, thank you so much.
No worries. Even more great advice there. So you've heard from both Richard and Mae, and you should now have some great insight and hopefully inspiration. Here are some top tips for you from my personal experience. Number 1, do your research. Come prepared to meetings, making sure you know about the topics that are being discussed and you've identified where you can add value. Quality versus quantity. Have additional talking points prepared, just in case you need them, but remember, you don't always have to add your voice just for the sake of it. Number 2, body language. Body language, body language. Your body language speaks as loudly as your words do. Be mindful of your posture. Sit or stand up straight. Avoid crossing your arms. Maintain eye contact. Mimic the body language of the person you're talking to. This builds trust and it portrays confidence. Number 3, networking today builds relationships tomorrow. Speak regularly with a variety of people. As an introvert, it's easy to get to know people on a one-to-one basis. So if you need them in the future, you have established a relationship already. Often, progression within a company is not about what you know, it's about who you know. Number 4, be proud of your achievements, even the small ones. Anything you've contributed towards, even if only slightly, is something you should be proud of. And with each minor achievement, success and confidence will flourish. If you do identify as an introvert or suffer from imposter syndrome, the more confident you feel, the more your natural voice will shine through. As we bring this quick sec to a close, I just wanted to remind you that we have loads more content for you on the Skills Hub section of the Apprentice Nation website. So go and check it out. Personally, I recommend these sets: how to successfully network, how to make great first impressions, and personal branding. And before we leave, a final thought. Stephen Hawking said, quiet people have the loudest minds. I've been your host, Bud. See you again soon.